Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share to your friends, loved ones to subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Today I'm with a very wonderful man. He's doing some wonderful work here in Ghana, and I can't wait to show you the amazing buildings he's putting up. If you are someone who wants to buy a land, go into real estate investment in Ghana, this video is for you. Let's get right into the video.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you
Nice
again,
to
bro.
meet you, bro.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Fosu, and of course I'm a Ghanaian, but I currently reside in the States. I do go back and forth between Ghana and the States a lot. A little bit about me, by God's grace, what I do for the States is I have a security company.
Okay.
And so I provide security services, unarmed security guards,
Okay.
private events for apartment complexes, shopping plazas, and things of that nature.
Wow.
And that's pretty much just not to go into too much details. Maybe I could go into some more details if needed, but that's pretty much the gist of what I do in the States. And so, I mean, eventually, I'm a Ghanaian, so I started coming to Ghana when, you know what I mean, when I got a little bit older. I didn't come to Ghana for some time, so I got a little bit older. I actually came to Ghana, I think, for the first time again in 2019, 2020. My grandma passed away, and so like the whole family came for a funeral, and I kind of fell in love again with Ghana. So that brought me, you know, to Ghana.
Coming back home to Ghana, and he fell in love again. He has always been in love with Ghana.
Yes, sir.
Right. So now he's here. He's not just here, or he's not just coming back and falling in love with Ghana, but he's back to the land, building something or bringing something to the motherland.
Yeah.
So we'd like to know about the project. What inspired you to start something on the land?
I mean, in general, everybody wants to own something. Everybody wants to be a landlord. You know what I mean? Soccer deal, whatever you might say, the landlord. But owning and just being a business-minded person, I know acquiring land, it's a good investment. You know what I mean? And so for the States, you know, it's pretty much developed. And if you want to maximize your investment, you might not go as far. There's different strategies that people do, definitely. But I wanted to come back home. Once I came back and I saw the beauty of Ghana, I just, you know, being in a peaceful place, being in a tropical place, having natural organic food and things of that nature, I said, man, I got to come and start investing here, because eventually one day I want to be mostly residing in Ghana more than residing in the States. I find more peace in Ghana.
More peace in Ghana. More peace in Ghana. More peace in Ghana. You see. Do you think the diaspora have more opportunities when it comes to owning apartments or owning lands in Ghana?
Well, sometimes it's some way, but definitely as far as investing, maybe they have more funds to be able to come out here. Obviously, you want to be able to go through the right channel. One thing that people go through and talk about a lot is being scammed. Whether it's giving family people money to build for you and they're not building, they go show you some house somewhere that's not your house, or a lot of people get scammed, get duped. And so definitely going through the right avenues and right channels is definitely important. But obviously, if you have money and you come to a place like Ghana and you go to the right areas, you could definitely find land to invest in. If you're in places like, you know, East Legon or Airport Residential, definitely the land is going to be more expensive. Even in a place like this where we are in McCarthy Hills, it's a little bit more pricey for the land. But then you can always go on the outskirts and find something more affordable to be able to invest in. And if you're not in a rush, you know, if you're in your 20s, in your 30s, even in your 40s, you can buy a piece of land, sit on it, wait, let it appreciate, or just start your project small, and eventually you'll see the end result of whatever you want to do.
Right. Now about the outskirts, we'll be going there. I'll show you. Just stay tuned and follow us. Now let's get into the apartment and see what he has for us.
I mean, this is definitely family land. My dad owns this land. And previously, there was a lot of space open in this place. So I thought to myself, and I've been telling him, like, man, we have to develop something, put something here, because there's a lot of space. And I had friends that used to rent close by in McCarthy Hill, and the kind of rent that they were paying, I'm like, man, that's pretty crazy, you know. So it made sense to invest and to build something over here, because definitely Obviously, collecting rent is something that you could use as a passive income.
Yeah.
It'll be able to help you be sustainable.
Yeah.
If you're looking, I'm a business-minded
Mhm.
type of person, so I'm always trying to see ways that your money could work or
For you.
ways that you could be able to collect passive income. So we thought a lot of people, you know, they get big lands, they want to build a big house or anything like that. You're not going to be able to live in every single
Big
room
house,
and things like
yes.
that. So you could put up an apartment or one room self-contained or whatever strategy that you have in mind, and pretty much eventually rent it out. So that's exactly what we did over here. We wanted to develop one room self-contained. There's definitely a lot of schools in the area with students in the area.
Yeah.
And there's even just single individuals who are looking for, number one, a quiet area to be able to live.
Yeah.
You know, so this area is very, very quiet. It's a
Yes.
safe area. McCarthy Hills is known as, I would compare it to, you know, maybe not quite like Beverly Hills or something like that, but a nice area when you
Yes.
compare it to some other places in the States where you can have peace and quiet. And so what we have over here is not fully complete. We're about 70% complete.
Okay.
But we have one room self-contained. So when you come in, this is pretty much like your hall area.
Okay.
Where you could, you know, kind of have like a living room, put a TV, you know, exactly, things like that. Okay. And then you come into here, which is like your bedroom area. Okay. It's a decent size, you know what I mean? One room self-contained. This would be the washroom. Exactly, the washroom. Toilet and bath would be here. Okay. And then this would be the kitchen. Right. So right now we're currently using it as storage, but you get the gist. But essentially most of the units are all similar. We do have two on the outside, which I'll show you guys right now, which are a little bit bigger. We'll come out right here. So on this side, it's a little bit of a bigger setup that we got going on over here. As you can see, this hall is a little bit bigger. Yeah. You know what I mean? Exactly, than the last one. So it's a little bit more comfortable over here. Yeah.
The same
concept, everything. Boom. You get your one room self-contained in here. You got your kitchen on the outside in there. And then we'll go to the upstairs too, just so that you guys could kind of see also on that side as well. Right. So yeah, but that's you know, the concept that we wanted to, something very simple that we wanted to just put in this area, not too crazy, but we wanted to just take advantage of the space of the land.
And make use of it.
Exactly, make use of the space of the land to be able to maximize it to the best that we can. You know, a lot of times what I see, or in the past, I think people have learned from that now, but in the past, I think a lot of people were building
huge houses,
huge houses, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's like, you're not maximizing your space.
Yes.
So as you guys can see, I mean, there's a lot of development in this area. Even this guy over here is building his own kind of higher rise apartments as well. So we've made a lot of progress over here. We just recently put in the rails, and we still got to put glass and things like that. But I'm just going to show you. This is the other big unit. I think this is the biggest one out of all of the other ones. And so essentially the person in here has a much bigger hall. They have their own personal balcony, you know. You got your kitchen as well in here.
Yes.
And then it's a little bit of a bigger room.
Yeah, this is bigger than the one down there.
Than even the one down there. And then the washroom too as well. Right. In there. So that's pretty much it for this place and what we're doing. But you know, like I said, it's almost complete. And I'm sure you'll probably put maybe our details in the link.
Yes.
Anybody's looking to rent or whatever it is.
Right.
Feel free.
I'll do that, definitely. So how long did it take you to build this?
This project's been ongoing for about, I would say, a little over a year.
A little over a year.
Okay. Yeah.
What has been the challenge? You had the land. No problem.
So no problem with that. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that people have issues with. Obviously, land.
Yes.
When you buy land, you got to make sure that, you know, it's documented right and things like that. But we didn't have no issues because my father already owned the land. And for me, I work closely with my uncle and my cousin, who's the manager for most of the projects that I got going on. And so I keep communication tight. And they're essentially partners of mine. You know what I mean? It's not just like I'm just a person that's just investing and hoping that somebody uses my money to do, but they're pretty much invested into it as well. You know, time is an investment, you know, so you got to respect the people who are putting in time for you while you're not around to be able to do things. They should be able to have a stake in whatever it is that you're doing. And a lot of people make a mistake of not doing something like that. Greed is not a good thing. You know what I mean? It's got to be to where everybody can benefit from what we're doing. And so that's how we kind of manage this place. So as far as challenges, to be honest, we haven't really had any crazy challenges, man. The only challenge in Ghana is time, man.
Time. You know, it's GMT, Ghana time.
I've gotten used to it over the years. I've gotten used to it that, you know, sometimes everything's not going to happen exactly the time that you think is going to happen. You know what I mean? So you buy equipment or you're waiting for this worker to come and do this, and maybe he'll say 6 a.m., but he'll come maybe by 12 or something like that. So if we're talking about challenges like that for this particular place, not really, just little things like that. But for the other places, when we get there, we'll talk about some of the different challenges that we have. So
just stay tuned. I want to take you around this beautiful apartment here. I'm going to show you every corner of the building. So let's go. Guys, I told you we will be going to the outskirts and I'm going to show you off-grid land. Building on an off-grid land by a very young man who has moved all the way from the United States to come build something very unique. As you can see the building behind, very unique, managing the space of the land and building something great. Guys, this is amazing. I'll let him talk about this project he has over here and what he's up to with this project. Let's go.
Yeah, so I mean, once again, we're in Nsawam right now.
Yeah.
And this is actually the first land that I bought when I came to Ghana. This is actually the very first place that I bought. And you know, I like I was saying earlier, I wanted to be a landowner.
Yeah.
And my uncle actually connected me to an estate company, and this was one of the sites that they were selling land for. And I wasn't the type of person that wanted to come and buy some land in East Legon for like $50,000, $100,000. I wanted to more so go a little bit out on the outskirts and get maybe an acre or something like that for a little bit cheaper. So I first came here, it was a complete bush in this area. Actually, I didn't really think much of it. You know, when my friend actually drove me here, I thought to myself, like, oh man, maybe 20 years, 30 years, you know, maybe then development will catch up to this area. But sure enough, people started coming to develop in the area. So as soon as I saw that development was catching up to this area, I thought to myself, okay, you know what? I get this, you know, this whole kind of row over here. Let me develop some futuristic, more modern style housing and maximize the space. My whole thing is maximizing the space, maximize the space as much as possible. And the concept over here is I wanted to build these, this is a 3-bedroom kind of modern style house, which is maximizing the space as well, and sell it to be able to get more revenue and eventually use that revenue to do more. So over here, we have this house, this structure that we already put up. Next to it is also going to be another one similar. And then I think on this side too is going to be another one. So there's going to be a row of 3 of this style of housing put over here. And on the last roll over there, you see we're going to pull up an apartment complex. It's going to be a 3-story apartment complex, which is going to showcase 2 bedrooms on each level. So we could take a look inside as well, and then I could kind of take you through what it looks like.
All right. Now, before we go to the building, you know, there are some people who say buy bush now because the bush is like the cryptocurrency. I saw that on your page and it got me attracted to this page. I was like, is that the land is like the cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin in those days, which used to be about very cheap now.
100%, man. That's the concept. I had that concept when I saw that the development started coming in this area. And obviously you want to make sure you buy, even if you're buying in the bush, you have to make sure you buy in a
Good
good
bush.
bush.
Yes, a good bush.
Because definitely there's Bitcoin. Bitcoin was cheap at one point. There's also like other coins that were cheap
Coins.
at one point, but they haven't reached what Bitcoin has reached. So
Right,
you have to
right.
still make sure that you get the right bush. But like yeah, like you're saying, I mean, like East Legon, Cantonments, all those areas at some point weren't fully developed,
Yes.
but you know, people bought early. The
Yeah.
prices was very, very cheap. Maybe I
Low.
think maybe some 10, 15 years ago, you could get land in East Legon for like some $5,000 or
True.
something. Now,
True.
50,000,
True. True.
$100,000. So
True.
that was another concept that I had in mind is that your value is going to always increase. I mean, at the very, very least, if you're not just buying to develop, you could just buy to hold the land.
Right.
Like when I first got this land, I think I paid about maybe 5 to 6 thousand US dollars, you know,
Okay.
at that time. And then a couple years later, I actually bought 3 plots before I actually added this plot to it.
Okay.
And then a couple of years later, I bought this plot from the guy that owned the plot, and I spent almost the same amount that I spent on all 3 plots that I bought. So that just shows you how the value continues to rise up. And I think I heard something that somebody told me that in Ghana, like the land appreciation is going up like every 3 months or something like that.
Yes,
You know,
that's
so if
true.
you buy in a
That's
good
true.
area and you
That's
just want to
true.
hold on to it, just to hold on to it and resell, you're definitely going to also win. So in that case, it's kind of
Yes,
like
it's
crypto. You know, you just
right.
hold it,
Hold it,
and eventually the value is
and the
going
value is going
to
to
going to
increase.
continue to
Now,
rise.
how did you get this land? What was the procedure? You know, most people ask questions about getting scammed, especially when you're buying from the local ones in this environment, like the off-grid environment, the boost, the chieftaincy.
Yeah.
How was your procedure?
Yeah,
And what's
man. I've been blessed, honestly, to be honest. You know, I've been blessed. Thank God, by the grace of God. My uncle connected me with a very established estate company, which is called Cohen's Estate, and I'm actually partnered with them now today because I've been buying lands from them in so many different areas. We'll go to another side too, where I get a lot of different. I get a couple acres on that side. And along the way, long story, anyways, I was able to buy my land through that estate company. It's a very established estate company. They actually have estates all over Ghana as well, and very reputable. I've had no issues. I've gotten all my land documents. I actually also had a chance that this is how I became partners with them. I had a chance to sit and meet with the CEO. He saw like some young guy buying lands all over the place, and so we ended up going into a partnership where now we're able to also sell lands also through them as well. And so we have that access. We get a certain price that we get it for. Obviously, they sell it to people for maybe a different price than we get it for because we acquire large acres of land. And so if anybody's interested, we're able to be able to sell to them and get them their documents seamlessly. And so we've been blessed, man, that we've bought from the right source, and we haven't had any issues with this and that, because they're a very big, reputable company, and they deal with all the nuances before it gets to them actually selling the lands to people. So
when you want to get land in Ghana, make sure you are getting it from the right source.
That's right.
Just contact the right person, and I'll leave his details in the description. Make sure you contact the right person before you get your land.
All right, yeah. So this is a 2-story, 3-bedroom, modern style housing. I mean, as you can see, kind of from the looks of it, I know a lot of people are kind of doing similar like things like this in the East Legon area. And so that was my concept. This is kind of sitting on, so initially I had 3 plots, and I wanted to put 3 houses on the 3 plots, as well as an apartment complex. And so the architect that I work with, very good guy, very young guy too as well. I told him the concept that I wanted, and then he developed the plan, and it looked, you know, based on how we wanted it. So it's just maximizing space over here. Is we're really maximizing space. Once it's complete, obviously, then people will kind of see the distance between. But you get a good solid size of a yard before you get to the road over here, where you'll have your gate and everything like that. And then we'll get into the actual building itself. So when you enter, right here, you have your pretty much your hall area where you could set up your living room, your living spaces, your TV or whatever it is. And I think you guys, this is ground floor. You guys don't do, then you say first floor. Abroad we will say that this is the second floor, but this is the ground floor. So over here you come You get decent. It's sizable. You know what I mean? That was the whole concept that we wanted to use. But these are the other bedrooms will be open.
Right.
So this is one bedroom. They're all going to be en suite. They're all going to be washroom, shower, washroom inside of each bedroom. And then back here is going to be pretty much the kitchen area.
Yeah.
And then you get a pantry, storage exactly inside of here. This will be the back outdoor. There'll be a small backyard before the wall, before the next people's building.
Yeah.
So you can still have some space in the back to maybe do your local foods and things like that. And then over here, we have the guest washroom or the guest bathroom.
Yeah.
That will be over here. And we'll head to outside. So over here, obviously, we're just putting up the structures for now before we actually complete with the tiling and glass figures and all that, and railing and all that kind of stuff. So take you guys to the first floor, as you guys say in Ghana.
Yes. This is our first floor.
Yeah. So still a good amount of space too right here, where you could have a second kind of living hall area or whatever it is.
Yes.
And then we get one of the bedrooms. So the downstairs was one bedroom. This would be the second bedroom right here. Pretty sizable, nice space going in here. You get your washroom over here, and then you get your small little, actually pretty decent size closet that you could fit your shoes,
your
whatever,
dresses,
clothes and everything like that.
Yeah.
Then we'll head to the master bedroom where the magic happens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you come into the master bedroom right here. Very spacious. Walk-in closet will be over there. But as you can see, it's a nice, you know what I mean? It's a sizable room. It's a sizable room.
You get a nice view.
Nice view. You get big windows, you know what I mean, to be able to kind of get a view through. And then a very big bathroom too as well, included right here. So you get your toilet and bath in here. And it's very good size. Very good size. So maximizing space. At the same time, being able to maybe build multiple and maximize the space is something that we wanted to do over here. And we're going to put 3 of these in a row over here before we actually get to the apartment. So the concept would be just a modern style 3-bedroom. A family could come and be able to, buy it. And, like you said, in this area, a lot of people are moving to this area. The road, the Kra to Insawam Road is literally right behind us. Yes. Walking distance.
And it's
distance.
about 5 minutes walk from here.
Yes,
to the roadside.
5 minutes walk. So very accessible to main road. And then, if you need to work in the Kra itself, by the time the road is finished, it's going to be 20, 30 minutes to get to Accra, So I know a lot of people are kind of moving from the outskirts. From the city to come a little bit on the outskirts and find a good area. I think this area, as I'm seeing it and as I've seen it, a lot of development is coming over here, and I think this is going to be a very cool.
How much will you say it will cost someone to build something like this?
So, obviously the price will fluctuate based on material cost and everything like that. But just putting up the structure itself, I would say a ballpark figure. Between, let's say, 50K, 60K USD to put it up properly. What we did was, I wanted to make sure I used quality material. I didn't want to I could have probably put it up for cheaper. Yes. But the material would not be quality. And one thing I want to make sure that I do and have a reputation of in all my buildings is that quality. Quality cement, making sure that the foundation was solid, digging deep enough to be able to make sure that it's strong. The iron rods and everything that they used was definitely just quality. So about 50K, 60K, give or take, whatever, and based on the pricing of materials and things like that. Sometimes they say that if you buy all your material at once and maybe you store it somewhere, it'll be cheaper. But if you're just buying and building as you go, the price is going to fluctuate a little bit,
Prices of cement last year is not the same as this year.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. That's what they say. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Yeah. So actually, they have a balcony too on this side. I just don't have the key for it, but you guys can kind of see right here. It'll be a balcony that will be right here.
Yeah.
There'll be a glass, obviously, so people can also get a little
feeling of the environment.
exactly, a little view or something like that to be able to come and enjoy themselves.
It's a nice apartment.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Very cool. I like the fact that you manage the space to do something like this on the land.
Yeah, maximization of space. Anything you do, you want to be able to maximize it the best that you can. Like I said, in the olden days, people really wasted space by building these huge houses, and you know, maybe your kids move out and it's going to be only you. You're going to be walking from end to end, you know, for no reason, you know. So as long as you have a, you know, a decent size, decent space or whatever, and you can still move around in your house and feel comfortable, that's really all you need. You don't really need something
big.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, and that's your, you know,
then if that's your style, you can go for it.
Exactly. If that's your style, you can go for it. But. All right, so over here is going to be a 3-story apartment complex.
Okay.
This where we're standing right here is the car park, pretty much.
Oh.
And obviously, want to always. I think most people will think, let me just build from the bottom all the way up, you know what I mean? But I'm just kind of thinking ahead that in this area, if people live here, where are they going to park? You know what I mean? I have to have a parking space for them. So wanted to just kind of do a car park and then build on the top of it.
Okay.
So we have the car park right here. And then actually inside of here, we can go inside of here. Okay. It's going to be I think 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom. I don't even remember. So there'll be a first kind of unit for rent right here.
Okay. So it's attached to it?
Yes. Oh. So like, I mean, they go get their own access to be able to come back here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a 1 bedroom. This will be the hall. Then the bedroom. Then the washing room and everything. Exactly. And then the kitchen is going to be so it's decent little size for the first floor.
Yeah.
And then we'll continue back to the other side. And then obviously, like I said, next to here, there's going to be 2 more houses. In between. So there's going to be 1 and 2 before you get to the apartment. That's why we made the car park for the apartment, so that there's space for people that are living here to be able to still park.
Would the 3 buildings be in the same compound or different compounds?
They will all have their own walls and space to be able to be separated. So they'll be kind of like in a different compound each. Yeah. So over here, you come here to your first floor, right? So you'll come here to your first floor, and when you enter, this will be your own space.
Yeah.
So you'll have like kind of like a balcony here in the front. Then you'll enter into your apartment. Then in your apartment, you get your living, very big living area. Yeah. This is going to be 2 bedrooms.
Okay.
Forgive me, I kind of forgot the layout, but I believe this is bedroom number 1. And one of these are also a bedroom. I have to remember I have to look at the site plan to remember the layout. Yeah. And then you get a bedroom. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So you get your washroom inside of here with it. There's going to be a kitchen in here, obviously. The whole concept of this is going to be like for families, people that want to rent out. Yeah. I'm even thinking maybe when I finish it, I might just sell each floor to the individuals. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like maybe somebody that can't probably afford a whole house can just buy the floor flat out.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? So there'll be 3 stories, and then on top there'll be a rooftop. We're gonna put a rooftop, maybe do some kind of hangout spot in the top or whatever it is.
Club,
exactly. Make it a little bit open for this area so people can come and have fun. And if you come and you see, like I was saying, I mean, once it's done and you're at the rooftop too, you're gonna have a nice view. You see the road. Yes. The road is right here. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes, I think this guy. I'm telling you, last year, I mean, people are coming and building very, very fast.
Yeah.
This house right here that we're looking at is Euphoria Ponsa. Yeah. That's his house, man. He built that house.
One of the most Ghanaians are legends.
Yeah. Musicians. And so, I mean, you could just imagine. I mean, the guy has come to this area to build a house. I mean, that should tell you the value of this area, where you're right by the roadside. You're on a slope, on a hilly kind of a place. So you don't have to worry about floodings or anything
anything.
like that in this
Yeah.
area, man.
Yeah.
So when it rains, it's very cool. And the weather also in this area is very cool,
Very,
like
very
nice,
cool.
nice breeze, you know what I mean, coming from the
Yes,
mountains and
yes.
everything like that.
You could feel it. It's
As
so
you're
nice.
as you're already, even though it's hot, you can still feel the breeze
Yes, you could
that
still
is
feel
coming
the
through,
breeze.
that is coming through over here. So
This
yeah,
is a very beautiful view,
man,
a very beautiful spot to own a land. What are you waiting for?
that's it.
You have to come and get a
That's
land
right.
here,
That's
get a
right.
building
That's
here.
right. That's right.
Just hit them up. They will sort you out for everything. I'll put their contact and everything in the description. Make sure you contact them for something beautiful like this. I'm going to show you other sides. We are not done yet.
So
Over here, what do we have here?
so over here we are we have 2 boreholes that we've dug over here.
Okay.
Actually, very, very lucky that this area, the water is actually, we had a feasibility study done over here. The water is not too salty over here.
Okay.
And so our mindset, obviously, you know, when you're coming and you're investing in Ghana and doing all these projects, you're using your money, you know. So I wanted to do a few things that will generate some income in Ghana. That
Okay.
way I can have income being generated in Ghana and use that income to continue some of these projects instead of constantly bringing
Money.
funds to be able to, you know what I mean?
True.
Sometimes it becomes a lot. It's not cheap, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So our concept over here is we bought this half plot actually from this guy who owns this land.
Okay.
He sold us his half plot, and we're going to put a factory where we're going to do pure water. And we've dug the 2 boreholes, like I said. We also have water that we could be able to provide for people that are building in this area. That's kind of the idea and the concept behind it. You want to be able to, since it's a fresh area and people are building, want to provide something that will also generate funds, but people are also going to need while they're building before this area is fully developed.
Right.
Over here.
You know, I like that. See, there are a lot of opportunities you can grab when it comes to the motherland. You see, he's trying to bring up something that will generate more revenue whilst he's working on his project. That's nice, man.
I mean,
That's
little
nice.
small, you got to do something. So
That's nice.
the concept is we're going to put up the factory, and then on top of the factories, eventually there's going to be some units. It's going to be maybe 2 or 3 stories. There'll be some units on top, or maybe like some office or something something kind of like that. So we could kind of walk in. I know they have work ongoing right now, but yeah, that's the concept. I mean, and I kind of learned that from the CEO, Mr. Anoche of Corns,
Okay.
where I see that every site that they go, that they open up, they have their own block factories in the area. They have, you know, equipment for people to be able to come and buy from them, and it only makes sense.
Yes.
If you're building in an area, you should do something. You could do something that you can also maximize on in that area, because after all, people are going to need water to use for building over
yes.
here.
Yes.
And then also this being a fresh area, pure water itself, there's probably not many pure water companies in this area. So concept is that we can maybe capitalize and capture in this area, and maybe be the #1 pure water selling business in this area. So little by little, this is pretty much just sorry. This is pretty much simply the factory. What the factory is going to be, the machines that purifies the water is going to be put in here. We've made it such so that like a truck could come, and then they'll be able to just pretty much load everything that's needed for the trucks to come by. Eventually, I'm not sure. I may actually purchase the lot next door. If I'm hearing talks, he might be willing to sell it, and so if that happens, then we'll put something else that will be beneficial for this area on here too as well, and then just keep moving that way. You know, little by little, man. Much is attracted by little. It's a quote that I learned a long time ago. You can't really do everything all at once, or you can't try to do everything in a grand scale, but little by little, when you put things together and you wait, eventually it all comes together. And I that's why I wanted to open up to a lot of young people, whether in the States or whether even in Ghana. You know, I know it's hard and there's not many job opportunities, but if you put your mind towards something and you work at it little by little, you don't have to necessarily do the frauds and all those extra things. You can really lay things that are going to be not necessarily bringing you money all at once right now, but if you lay the foundations, eventually over time is going to do that. So always, #1, you can always start with land. You know, you can go on the outskirts, find some land for 15,000, 20,000 cities. You might have to go a little bit further, But if you could save up that kind of money and you buy that land, you wait 1 or 2 years, that land is gonna either double, triple, boom. Now you start your process little by little. So that's the concept behind what I try to do, and
Yeah.
how it should go, man.
That's a free business idea for you. Thank you very much
Yes, sir, man.
for having.
So yeah, this is to me, this is my gold, man. Like I've always wanted a view kind of a place. So I say like if I come develop my own place,
Okay.
this probably gonna be like the place where maybe
You are going to
I will come in,
leave.
yeah, develop to live or whatever it is. Maybe I'll use the down one maybe for my house or something like that, and I'll maybe build some nice like kind of like Airbnb type of thing where somebody could come and
Right.
enjoy a nice,
Right.
you know.
It's a very nice environment for that kind of Airbnb because look at the view down there. It's mind busting.
Very, very. So yeah.
Wow.
So this is where the pillars are. It's where the pillars are, Rich, right? Rich, where the pillars are, right? Yeah. Oh. So where the pillars are, yeah, going down, you can see kind of like the other pillar. So pretty much, I get this whole like I'm next to this person right here,
Okay.
and I get that whole slope going down, and it's 2 plots.
Okay.
But technically, I've walked down there. I can even extend it a little bit more down and then put like some fill in to be able to kind of extend it even a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But the point about this place, the whole point about this place is exactly what we're looking at right here, man. So when you come up here, and it's actually crazy to me when I first came and I got the land for that cheap at the time. And I'm like, man, I have to do it because eventually I saw the vision of like this being kind of like a brie, you know what I mean?
Yes, yes, yes.
I
And it
mean,
has the same kind of structure.
yeah, once the development comes and people start, I mean, you can already see people are developing their places and everything like that over here. But I love views, and I can just stand here and just
watch
watch.
And it's not far from a brie. It's just about
yeah.
From here to a brie will be about 30 minutes.
Yeah. And even once they finish the road that connects to that side, I think it will even be
Easier.
faster. It would even be faster. So, I mean, at nighttime too, when you see the lights and everything like that, it's a beautiful sight. There's a nice little breeze too that's also up here that you get to enjoy a little bit of a cooler weather. So. This is, real estate, man. It's a hot commodity. If you could find some good areas, you know what I mean. And definitely, as we're working with Cones, we have different locations. We didn't go to all the locations. There's even a little bit further than in Nsawam, in Techere, in a place called Techere, yeah, next to Techemante. We get like hundreds of acres in that area. So right now, the price in that area is a little bit cheaper, and so anybody that's interested, we're able to. It's the same thing, man. When you get over there, you might think like, oh, this is bush or something like that, right? But in the next 2 to 5 years, that place, I'm telling you, especially with Coins being involved, that they bring development to the areas that they come. They set up the roads, they set up the gutters, they bring electricity and everything, So working with them is like a breeze. It's like one of the easiest things, and I'm really glad to be in partnership with them. So like it just makes sense that value is gonna also increase. Maybe next time we'll go over to that side and do a video for that side so people could kind of see the layout of the land on that area. But it's available. It's available. There's a lot of acres over there available. So if anybody's interested in buying some lands,
just
feel free, man. You can never go wrong in even buying and just sitting on it. And eventually, I think right now we get some lands on that side for about 40K, 35 or 40K Ghana cities. So that converts to about like $2,000, $2,500 or some less than $3,000 right now. And that $3,000 that you're spending, or 2,000, whatever the price is, we'll get the full details. You sit on it for a couple years, before you know it, it's going to be doubled. You know what I mean? It's going to be 5K, then it's going to eventually be 10K. So that's how the lands work, the appreciation of the lands. So
all right, so I'll drop his details, and I'd like him to tell us the name of his company and everything, so that you can contact him when you need him.
All right, my name again is Emmanuel Fosu, CEO of Brinks Collective. You can find us on Instagram at Brinks_collective. You can find us, or you can message us on email too as well at brinkscollective@gmail.com. And you can also contact us, whether if you're in the States, you could contact me directly via my US number at +1 562 291-4791. You can also contact us on WhatsApp. My WhatsApp, only strictly WhatsApp number, is +233 54 5242. And those are some of the avenues that you guys could contact us at. You can also hit us up on our YouTube channel, Brinks Collective, where we have videos and we explain different things. And I'm sure you'll put the links in the description for us as well. So thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate all the support and I appreciate the attention as well. And I appreciate you for giving us the platform too as well. God bless.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share to your friends and loved ones. Let us subscribe and support this movement. To the comment section and let me know who you want me to interview and what you want to see next. Guys, see you on the other side. Peace out and stay blessed. Bye-bye.